Hello, and welcome, my Leo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Welcome to your work, career, vocation read for June and July 2021. I am your reader, Angelo Lyons, the Archangel of Lyons, professional witch, professional intuitive, president of DrawingTheCircle Productions, Leo, rising, Mars conjunct, ready to read for you. I don't know if you're aware of this, but Mars went into Leo. Yeah, I'm on full blast right now in terms of my Leo rising and creativity, and just plowing through, getting ready to go visit my parents up in Saratoga later this week. So getting my work done, and it couldn't have been better astrological timing to do so. Let's get down to business. We are doing a 3 levels of power reading applied to your life purpose, the lenses of work, career, vocation. 3 levels of power: eau de toilette, cologne, perfume. Work, career, vocation. The lower 3 chakras: heart, throat, third eye, crown, third eye. Survival intuition, creative intuition, visionary intuition. Oh, it's about chakras, it's about creativity, it's about a lot of stuff. So we're going to do 12 cards this time. We're going to use the Caroline Myss Archetype deck to look at essentially the 8th chakra of your work, your career, and your vocation. Then we're going to take 3 Daughters of the Moon Tarot to look at the heart, throat, third eye, crown of your work, career, vocation. Then we're going to take the Mythic Tarot and look at the lower 3 chakras, the external part of this work, career, vocation. And new to these reads, we are going to get you 3 healing mantra cards from the Matt Kahn Healing Mantra deck to help you heal all of this stuff, because when you can bring it all into congruency, right? When you can get something from the 8th chakra all the way down to the root and out into the world, that's alignment. And I don't care how many vision boards you make. That's an external tool. It's not going to take you all the way there, right? So excited to do these reads. It's a nice break from twin flames and soulmates and all that toxicity. So let's get up in this gig. It is a general read. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Check your other signs, because some of these are more dominant in work. What I call leverage, like in one of them there's usually a dominant leverage, like, oh, focus on this one, it'll help balance the other 2. So certainly check that out if you are so drawn, my lovely Leonines. Other than that, all the decks that I read are always in the bottom of the description box, and there are links on the way down there, including a video of Caroline Myss talking about the 3 levels of power that she calls the literal, the personal, and the symbolic. And it's just a wonderful way to look at the different aspects of your life, right? Like physical health, mental, emotional health, and spiritual health, holistic health altogether. What is it? Promise, oath, and vow, right? 3 levels of that. It's a lovely set of archetypal lenses to look through. I'm a soul path number 3. Big shock. Not. So let's just do this. Both feet on the floor if you can. Don't gotta, but if you can, helps you stay here now. Lord knows I have to do it to do these readings. And focus on your breath if you will. I will do the same to bring you the clarity, guidance, and grace I can with these decks of cards, with my pantheons of the divine guiding it all as we go. Shall we, my lovely Leos? Meow. Breathe. All right, I'm going to start with the Caroline Myss archetype cards, as I said. So I call upon my collective pantheons of angels, archangels, goddesses, gods, ascended masters of life purpose through work, career, and vocation, and the higher selves of all involved here, 5th dimension and above, 8th chakra and above. Please, I need 3 cards, 1 for work, 1 for career, 1 for vocation, for the Leo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading. What you got for their work? Literal world, physical survival. You want me to do that again? I will take that again. I think it was the next card. It's all about how the energy feels when you do it. If you're not a reader, you might not get that. It's like, why not that card? Do it feel right? Breathe. So yeah, lower 3 chakras, survival intuition, right? Their work in the world, even if they're not getting paid for that. I don't get paid for that. I'm a president of a company, right? During the Circle Productions, that I get paid. Not in my work, but my career, right? Teacher, healer, reader, all that jazz, writer. So please, what do you got here for the Leo collectives? No, I keep, you see, now this is the thing. When that goes down, and it's not that humid today, it means that there's more than one archetypal pattern going on here. So we're going to place that one there for your work. That's the 8th chakra point of view. The symbolic power being alchemized lead to gold, shadow to light. What's going on in their career, heart, their third eye crown, their passion, their thirst, their hunger. You know, what lights them up, what turns them on the inside. And their vocation, that 8th chakra dynamic of their calling, right? Work, career, vocation. Let's see who you got. This card keeps popping up. This is the 3rd time the student has come up in the first position. So if you have any placements in Aries, they got it there. If you have any placements in Gemini, they have it there. And the way that I list my readings is I go, girl, do it from your point of view, right? Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo. So these on this side, this column on this side, has the student archetype over and over and over again. And the divine child has popped up here too. See, this is why the Virgos write shit down. Every archetype is neutral. As wonderful as it sounds, is as toxic as it is. It's a scale from lead to gold, shadow to light. And as horrible as the archetype sounds, the light is just as bright. So the student, I feel like I could say this one by rote at this point. The shadow attribute of the student, arrogance in pursuit of destructive knowledge. Now, I will tell you, I taught witchcraft for decades. I still do. I just haven't done it publicly, obviously. Go check out my stuff on Vimeo if you want. Links in the description box. You know, people are like, well, how much can I get away with? Right? It's like, I discovered hot foot powder. It's like, oh, you did. Well, have fun with that, right? You know, destructive knowledge. Bind them, banish them, send them out to sea, right? It's a little more Tisha Adams, but I'm down for it sometimes. Unwillingness to translate knowledge into action, however, is what's really, if there is lead here, that's the one they're going ding, 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 ding. It's like you have the knowledge, but you haven't alchemized it into wisdom through putting it into action. The light attribute, humility and devotion to knowledge, openness to lifelong learning. I will say the grace of humility, which I learned from Carolyn Myss's book. Well, originally I read about it in Entering the Castle, her work on St. Teresa of Avila's The Interior Castle. Brilliant work. I mean, life-changing if you could handle it. It's not beach reading, although I did read it at the beach. The Grace of Humility actually starts and ends my book, Words of Grace, because it is my saving grace. My whole life people have been like, oh, you sound arrogant. I'm like, Mars conjunct Leo rising, bite me, or I'll bite you. But I learned humility, and the grace of humility is not humiliation. It's actually the shield against humiliation. The grace of humility is the maiden grace. There's the maiden, the mother, and the crone. I open the book with those three because they're gateway graces. They open you to other graces you don't even need to know about. But the maiden grace of humility is as follows. Please grant me the maiden grace of humility to know that I do not know, but I'm willing to be shown the truth. I am willing to be shown what I need to know. Maybe not what we want to know, but what we need to know. So that humility and devotion to knowledge, like to devote yourself to whatever is going on in your work. I was like, all right, I'm going to learn. I know that I don't know. When you're not sure if you know and you make a conclusion that's false, you beat yourself up for it later. We just do, right? But openness to lifelong learning, this can be very, very, very powerful. And maybe you're having to learn new technologies, new stuff for your work. And maybe you were, you know, a master, and now you find yourself a student again. And welcome to the cycle, right? Welcome to it, especially after this last year and 4 months? In your career, you've got the Liberator. If you're going to get it anywhere, get it in the heart, throat, third eye crown. The shadow is still toxic. Imposing your own tyranny over those you claim to liberate. Ignoring legitimate constraints. And I think the best example of ignoring legitimate constraints, and I just saw a meme on Facebook about this, saying that if you're having a party and you have alcoholic beverages and someone says, no, I don't drink, you just get them another non-alcoholic beverage. That's all, right? I always provided that. I used to have parties of 250 people at my house in the way back in Bayshore. So ignoring those legitimate constraints would very much be like, ah, come on, you pussy, drink up. No, you don't have to ask them why. Maybe they're in recovery. Maybe they have a heartburn. None of your business, right? So the goal of that, freeing yourself and others from outmoded beliefs, releasing negative thought patterns. Now, this is in the heart, throat, third eye, and crown. This is probably about you, but if you're dealing with the student stuff, the way you're looking at this, like I said, if you were like large and in charge and now you find yourself in a student, either in the same field or maybe a new one, this can be really, really tricky. Now, I will say this is a wisdom family archetype. This is an action family archetype. And if you're going to get this one anywhere, get it here in your vocation. You got the divine child, which is a survival family archetype. There are 9 families of archetypes. The first one you learn about in Sacred Contracts by Carolyn Myss is the survival family. The child archetype, the victim victor, the saboteur, empower. I added the empower part to that. And the prostitute. And the prostitute's not about selling your body for money, unless it is. That plays itself out so many ways. Now, there are many child archetypes. It's one of the few that has sub-patterns within it. So everybody has a child archetype, but not everybody has the divine child archetype. Now, someone else got the divine child. Taurus got it in their work. So any alignments there, you might want to check it out. However, as beautiful as the divine child sounds, the shadow attribute, an inability to defend oneself against negative forces, and I have the divine child archetype in spades. Seriously. As a kid, I used to not have night terrors. I used to have visions. Portals used to open in the ground. I used to hold on to the bed, right? But, you know, and when you're born clairvoyant, empathic, schmathic, whatever you want to call it, right? You don't know how to defend yourself, and you tell your parents and adults about it, and they're like, oh, you just had a bad dream. That keeps happening, right? I was never abducted that I'm aware of. I wasn't an easy child. I'm sure I would have went kicking and screaming. So the light attribute, absolutely beautiful. Innocence, purity, and redemption suggests a special connection with the divine. Now, if you can get up there, you're going to find your innocence in all of this. You're going to say, oh, I am being guided and taught by my divine parentage, right? And that can just so liberate the mind. Just be like, oh, I thought I was being punished. I'm being prepared. Yeah, with the student. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Let's see what this looks like. Heart, throat, third eye, crown. So if you think of like your work career and your vocation, even though they look separate, they're really not. And you see these archetypes as sort of the dominating pattern, or the general energy, I guess you say on YouTube, the general energy of each. Now this is going to give you the heart, third eye, crown, the world behind your eyes, the feminine part of you. See, I said this to a client yesterday. I was like, I really prefer to say yin and yang instead of feminine and masculine, but people in the West don't get it. They don't know what you're talking about. So look at it that way. Heart, throat, third eye, crown, the world behind your eyes. Please breathe. As I call upon my goddesses of fire and the sign of Leo, please, 3 cards to clarify the work, career, vocation for the Leo collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. I'm watching this video, receiving this reading, and yes, I can see myself in this already. I try to keep myself out of the readings, but I have I'm a horrible student. I'm a brilliant teacher. Class clown alert. Mars conjunct Leo rising. So please, my goddesses, that student archetype in their work, we'll do these face down, and then we'll flip them all at once. What's their heart, throat, third eye, crown in their career with the Liberator? And this feels really throat, third eye. They're going to have to make the decision of how they want to do that, right? Or if they want to do that, if they want to liberate themselves and others, or if they want to ignore legitimate constraints. The divine child, what's going on there in their vocation? Oh, 2 major arcana cards and the 2 of cups. Woo, now look, 2 of cups, before I even tell you where it is. Know that this is probably not about romance. Sorry, this is not that kind of reading, unless it's a career romance. I'm in love with what I do for a living. It's me and my career. Actually, it's me and DrawingTheCircle Productions, right? My career is my love that way. So, You know, what won't you do for that which you love? But we'll get there. It is in the career position with that Liberator. So here with the student, you know, the last reading I did was Cancer. They got the card of oppression, which is half of the Devil card. This is the other half of the Devil card, the Coyote Woman. Now, this is a Native American deity totem reference kind of thing. And it is the other half of the Devil card, because the Devil with oppression, that card in this deck, is very much the chains that you could walk away from, but it do take work. This is the shadow aspect work of it. Oh, wait, do you see the pants somewhere? And I'm wearing a Bette Midler concert t-shirt from 1984, and it still fits. And I'm wearing my happy smiley pants because it's Sunday. Yeah, I'm doing these in advance. So can you see the shadow there? So can the coyote, right? So this is about, you know, you really dealing possibly with your own fears and limitations, your own hidden pain. There might be something in your work life that you really need to study and pay attention to learn from, to be humble about, instead of being possessed by the collective repressed pain. Now, for those of you who are empaths, and I just don't mean an empath, I mean an energetic empath. You're feeling other people's energies and emotions in your own cell tissue. Do be aware that the next 3 cards that'll go down on this, you might be picking up stuff from the outside world. Yeah, 2% of it might be yours, but if it's like, I don't know, fear of starting over again. I won't say everybody's been through that in the past year, but a lot of us still are. I just came out the other side well. I got nice hair. The Liberator here, you got the 2 of Cups. So there's definitely an emotional whirlpool. The card itself is called the Whirlpool. That swirling movement. And if you drop a cup on one end of a whirlpool and a cup on the other, sooner or later they're going to meet. But it's going to take a while. So there's something about emotional balancing in here that's not the 6 of Cups, but is definitely that feeling of, oh, right? With this Liberator, this is about opening your heart, and it's not a 10 of Cups. It's stirring that pot in the best way possible, an emotional attraction that is drawing you into a center point. Dig it. In terms of creative intuition, that's your heart starting to get into it, right? I love that. And with this Divine Child, you've got the Strength card. Now, who got the Strength card here? This is why I write this shit down. Let's see. It wasn't them. Who got the Strength card there? Why can't I see it? Openness, Temperance, Phoenix. The Gemini got it, but they got it in the same position. Yeah, you guys got a lot of connections here with Gemini. I didn't even realize that. The Strength card there with the Divine Child. So if there is a lineup there for you, absolutely go check that out, because the message is similar. Now, Gemini got the Mystic there, which is about reveling with intimate union with the divine, but suggests a special connection with the divine. This is very similar. And if you're collaborating with people, look to the Geminis and then look away. Everybody's allowed one zodiacal bias in my book. Mine is Gemini. Just saying. The Divine Child with Strength, this is about your heart opening. But this is about your heart opening as a result of a return to innocence. What does redemption mean? Right? Look it up for yourself. Look into the meaning of that word. Because when you think of redeeming a coupon, right, you turn something in for something. It's like an exchange. Right here, I'm going to redeem this for $5 off, right? Well, redemption really is about absolution, or it's about any mistakes or errors that you make amends, right? So there's a heart healing going on here. The more you can get up in that 8th chakra, the more you can go into prayer, meditation, whatever your spiritual practice is, although I don't know how anybody's getting through what we're going through without a daily spiritual practice. I'm doing Course in Miracles, the workbook again. It's been truly helpful. It's like reading it for the first time. Then there is courage here. There is strength. There is fortitude. There is stick-to-itiveness that might even help this Divine Child defend themselves against negative forces. right? Because you want to be open-hearted. But, you know, I'm an absolute pussycat until you cross me, and then I am king of the forest. My last name is Lyons, L-Y, granted. But I'm the Archangel of Lyons. You know, I've been using that as a mnemonic device, and then all of the signs are saying, yeah, but you actually are an Archangel of Ariel. Lioness of God. I'm down for it. And so this is resonating for me great, big, huge. However, to look at the student here with that shadow, this might be really about you learning what is your arrogance in the pursuit of destructive knowledge, or your unwillingness to translate knowledge into action. And I know that for myself on day to day, that's a hard thing, right? Like I'm somewhat technically inclined. I'm pulling this off, but like my video editor software wasn't working. Thank God it happened before I knew what to do this time, because the Microsoft update screwed it up, right? So I had to literally take out the last update, right? The last Microsoft update off my computer so that my software could work. Now, I didn't know how to do that the first time. I freaked out for a week, but a lovely Aquarian friend showed me. But that doesn't mean I wasn't triggered by it either. And that's just a small example. So something in the outside world is going to be triggering you, which is why we want to look now at the next deck, the Mythic Tarot. Please take a nice deep breath. This should be fun. Okay, my gods of fire. Oh, I forgot to turn my phone off. My gods of fire, and the sign of Leo, Apollo, and Aries, please. 3 cards in clarity for the Leo collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign in their work, career, vocation. Let's start with that student archetype in their work, lower 3 chakras, survival, intuition. With the Coyote woman, also called the Trickster. So I wonder, with that card of the Liberator there, if you have been betrayed, if you have been tricked, or if you're feeling like you are, it definitely resonates with the survival archetype, not of the child, but of the saboteur. Have you been sabotaged? Are you being sabotaged? Are you seeing things clearly? Either way, the Liberator right now, although that Divine Child is pretty strong, Liberator seems to be your leverage in these 3. So please, my gods, what's that look like on the outside? Just leave it in my hands. We'll do it face down as we've done with all of them. There's that one. The Liberator with the 2 of Cups, which just feels so freeing and loving and honestly balanced. What is it? Nope, that's 2. Nope. What does that look like on the outside? Some aspect of the outsider from the outside looking in. And in their vocation, their spiritual calling, the Divine Child, with strength, right? That courage, that, yeah, sure. I mean, if it was in the work position, that might be about holding back your anger, tempering it, but that doesn't feel like that. That feels like your heart gets stronger by really acknowledging and embracing your divine heritage, which is as a child of the divine. I used to say it's child of God. But honestly, the divine is so genderless. The child of the divine is just fine. So the divine child, what do we got here? What does this look like? Root, sacrum, solar plexus on the outside. Knew it. You got the moon with the student and the devil card, the coyote woman, the trickster. So outside, things are cloudy. You are probably, if you have any empathic skill, and it is a diagnostic intuitive skill. I'm not talking about the sociological empath that people are going on and on and on about as the opposite of narcissist. Because, by the way, empaths can be narcissists too. It's called passive narcissism instead of active narcissism. If you're a people pleaser, you're leaning towards passive narcissism. This is Hecate, one of the goddesses in my pantheon, the 3 faces of Hecate, crossroads. But we know the moon is it's cloudy with a chance of meatballs, right? So there may very well be a situation, like particularly if you don't know what you're gonna do next in your work. You feeling me? Right, Claudia? I don't know. I'm scared. And you know, this has happened to me before where they pulled the rug out from under me. Honey, I've been there over and over and over again. No one rises from the ashes like I do, right? And this isn't the death card. This is about facing your shadow, a little shadow work going on there. But that you got to keep that humility. I don't really know what's going on here, and that's okay. Look, I was raised by a teacher and a lawyer. We were never really rewarded for not knowing the answer, right? Who is? But, you know, you only know what you can know, and better that than making up stories in your head. I think that's part of this lesson here. But I got to tell you, this is going to turn out extremely well, particularly in your career. You got the Liberator with this Two of Cups, this heart swirly going on. With the Ten of Pentacles, that's where your money is. Yeah, you may not know what to do, how to bring this into form, but the potential here, you have everything you need to pull this off in the physical form. Fall in love with it. Have the romance, right? Liberate yourself, perhaps, from, maybe this is occluded because it's on pause, right? Like a moon cycle, right? It's like hang in there. There could be an aspect of divine timing. I wouldn't worry so much about the moon. The moon changes signs and phases all the time. This is really about you going inside of yourself. So if we look at that as an indication of heart, throat, third eye, and crown, it's a holographic read, then we're looking about being liberated by love and seeing that you have everything that you need. And the birds seem to agree. A lot of birds around here, but usually not in the heat of the day like this do they do that. I take that as a message. You big Lyrians. Is it Lyrian or Lyran? Comment below. I don't know. That's my starseed lineage, apparently. Who, me? I have the hair for it. I love this so much. Divine Child, Strength, Six of Cups. Now, Six of Cups, yes, in a romantic reading, it's nostalgia. This is about emotional balance, right? A 3 and a 3. 6, harmony, balance. This is lovely. This is about you taking the time to maybe internally reflect upon your relationship to the divine, because every single really person or thing, well, I can't call my cats things. You know, when I was in first grade, we were learning nouns, and they gave us these cards, and it said person, place, or thing, and they gave you different pictures, and you had to put them in person, place, or thing, and I kept putting the dogs and cats and people, and they're like, meh. I'm like, you're wrong. Right? I'm Lyrian, don't screw with me. Or Lyran, whatever, tomato. Whatever. This feels extremely good. You are being given time. If you go up into that 8th chakra, pray. There, I use the word, right? Read my book, Words of Grace. Lots of good prayers in there in my voice. Thank you very much. Talk to the divine. I talk to the mother of all. The mother of all, right? When the mother of all was revealed to me, she said, before there was the Tao, there was me. Yeah, the video didn't pause. That was me going, right? That's who I talk to. And I changed the pronouns in A Course in Miracles. Man, does it work better for me from he to she, from him to her. It just does, right? So there is some reflection here, no question. But I think from this sort of aerial satellite point of view, you're going to be able to look back and see how strong you are. This is not your first time at this rodeo, where you've been a student dealing with past issues, shadow and pain, right? And not knowing which direction to take. But I am going to say, if you are an empath, you're not the only person feeling this, so check. This is how I do an empathic check. If I'm not sure, it's different because I live alone, but you know, from working in the public as a minister and a teacher, I mean, go watch some of my stuff, my back catalog on YouTube, right? It's all spiritual teaching until I started doing readings here. You know, I was dealing with sometimes incredibly toxic people and getting paid for it, right? So sometimes I'd be like, I need to smoke a cigarette. I would go outside, and as soon as you get 40 feet away or so, because there's a level of the energy field that goes out 20 feet in diameter, so figure you want to take 40 feet plus an inch, right? And if the energy dissipates, oh, that's them. And then I could turn around and walk in and no, shields up, shields, right? But, you know, some of us are empathing on a much larger level now. We're picking up global stuff. And with this past eclipse, eclipses are all about earthquakes for me. I mean, there's usually a seismological, is that right? That's not the word. A geologic or tectonic plate shift because of the gravitational pull of certain eclipses. So it does feel like that moon. And if I'm to look at this, it does look a little bit like an eclipse. You can't see that on the top of her head there. But really, that's all three. That's the maiden, the mother, the crone, the waxing, the full, and the waning on there. So this will pass. This will pass. And my sense of it is, if you really want to go there, and I think this might be for everybody, you're not supposed to know in the physical right now. Just learn your lessons. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep learning. Learning, every day learning. Every day is a winding road. I get a little bit closer and really get up here. Really, it's okay. So now my right eye, my right contact lens is doing a loop-de-loop. So because that's my masculine side, I'm going to say it's the mind. Here's your leverage. This is really about freeing yourself from limiting beliefs by doing the shadow work, but from this place of innocence and redemption. Oh, gee, have you made mistakes in this life? No. You, Leo? Unless you're orbing in and orbing out, but you know, even he screwed up. Brian Krause. Short, by the way. I've never met him. I know people who have them. Then this is about self-reflection. This is about coming into emotional balance by basking in the heart chakra strength of divine power by connecting with the divine. This is really going to clear you out. This is going to redeem you from your mistakes. Not that you did anything wrong, but you're going to look back, you're going to reflect, and you're going to say, and this was just like in the Gemini read, oh, that couldn't happen any other way. I didn't know any better. You're learning better now. Let's get you some mantras. This is really clear reading. You know, Leo rising, I'm Virgo sun, Venus in Libra. This is the gamut for me. I pray, please don't let me show up in the reading, and I get that. I really, really do. All right, Healing Mantra Deck by Matt Kahn. The Ascended Masters of Life, Purpose, Work, Career, Vocation. Please take a nice deep breath. Yeah, they're saying it's called the Healing Mantra Deck for a purpose, right? So please, my Ascended Masters of Life Purpose through the lenses of work, career, and vocation, please. 3 cards for the Leo Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Sun, watching this video, receiving this reading. For their work, career, vocation, please. What do they got for their work? They've got the Student with the Coyote on the inner, the Moon on the outer. What is their perfect healing mantra? Because, you know, it's okay to not know, but in the physical world, that's tricky. So what you got for them, not going to look. For their career, they've got the Liberator archetype with the 2 of Cups on the inner, 10 of Pentacles on the outer. That's really where your joy, you're going to find it. You're going to find your liberation there for sure. Please, what's their healing mantra for that? And for their vocation, their spiritual calling, the divine child, strength on the inner, 6 of Cups on the outer, and that is going to tune you into that. You're going to have the memories of really being that innocent, trusting child. What are the key words here? Innocence, purity, and redemption, right? That purity of inspiration, that feeling of innocence. You know, the Course in Miracles, I know I talk about a lot because it's been slapped into my third eye repeatedly over the past month or so. As a result of a business upset, by the way, somebody pulled the rug out from under me, changed the game, and I'm out. Oh, you don't do that to me. No. You don't change the game in an email. You have a conversation with somebody if you're collaborating, right? It's just how it works. With me, at least. Boundaries. I have very high standards. Even though I look like this. But there's definitely something here about you really getting back in touch with that innocence within yourself. So please, what is their perfect healing mantra for this, my Ascended Masters? Let's see who you got. Okay, that makes sense. Who else got that? I'll check it in a minute. Oh, I think you'll like this a lot. Now, these mantras, like anything else, they work it if you work it. I recommend getting the deck, and I'm going to kickbacks from that. The Matt Kahn Healing Mantra Deck, links in the bottom of the description box. Because here, this makes sense for the physical power, the literal world. You got the Student with the shadow, right? The Coyote Woman, Heartthrob, Third Eye Crown, some past stuff, the shadow work you need to do because you don't know what to do. Well, guess what? Grounding my energy. It is safe to be in my body, and I have to see who got this because I know. Grounding my energy. Taurus got this in the same position. Oh, any planets in Taurus are dealing with any Taurians in this. Might be helpful. Now, it is safe to be in my body indicates you're not a body because you're not. Course in Miracles, again, it's in my head, right? You are not a body, you are free, for you is still as Goddess created thee, which knocks it out of the iambic pentameter, but works for me. It is safe to be in my body, grounding my energy. It's okay to be here. I am an eternal soul that's playing a role that right now you're building a mystery. Or you're in the middle of one already built, and you're learning your way through it, and that's fine. It's safe to be in your body. It is safe to be in my body. I think that's going to really let the nervous system relax, right? You get that? It's like, hey, life is a mystery. Everyone must stand alone. Madonna, 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 Madonna mia! The Liberator here you got in your career with this lovely Two of Cups, this heart swirly, with the Ten of Pentacles on the outer. Do you just have anchoring the light? The light is always within me. Did somebody else get that one? I like to check. It's because there's been a lot of repeats. Nope, no one's gotten this one yet. You're the first, Leo. Anchoring the light. The light is always within me. Of course it is. You're a Leo. Ruled by the sun. Sun, moon, rising, Venus, whatever. The light is always within me. This is really about getting that it's not that you have come to serve the planet. You are part of the unity of all life that has taken on form to serve the planet. Or as I like to say to people, when they get a little codependent, a little vampire, a little drainy, a little demanding. She's so demanding. I didn't incarnate for you. I incarnated for everybody. Work. Hold on. Let me do the sound effect. Work. If you're following me on Instagram, my youngest cat, my youngest son, Melchior, was literally sitting there staring at me with the... Yeah. I love my work. I love my career. Like, I can totally relate to this. I do have everything I need to pull it off. So I'm going to be working this for a while. I have a feeling. Now, this last part is just amazing. Tells you everything you need to do here. The child archetype with strength on the inner, Six of Cups on the outer, whatever comes up in you as in that reflection, right? It's like you sitting back, thinking back to, remember when I always wanted to do this? Remember? Because sometimes we don't realize our dreams have come true. Oh my God. When I was a kid, remember the Gypsy video? Please, some of you watched it today, right? I remember being a teenager, 13, 14 years old, when Mirage came out by Fleetwood Mac. And I was like, I want a house like that. I'm soaking in it, right? So, like, sometimes you don't realize that you have everything you need because we're so destination oriented, right? We're where we are is where we need to be. That's why invoking self-realization, each breath confirms how awake I am. Focus on your breath. Do the breath work. Go into prayer. Just bask in the light of the divine, however you do that, and go innocently, which means no preconceived notions. Not trying to steer it. Let the gods do the steering, right? Let it, all that, this was in Course in Miracles. If you have a willingness for what's called the holy instance, H-O-L-Y, it's that moment where you get the eternal is in the here now, and you want that more than anything. You don't know how to get there, and don't try and hold on to it. Just breathe, right? Each breath confirms how awake I already am. That Leo card. This is such a heart healing thing, and it's okay to not know. It's safe to be in your body. All right, let me put it together for you. Please take a nice deep breath. I always give a blessing at the end of these readings because I have what's called the Grace of Prayer, which is also in my book. Born with the Grace of Prayer. Breathe. My collective pantheons of the divine. Please, may the entire Leo collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading, be blessed with all that they need in their work, career, vocation, that they may have the humility and devotion to knowledge with that openness to lifelong learning, knowing that they have shadow work to do, that whatever's going on here in their work, not knowing what's going to happen next, everything cloudy, is definitely bringing up times before where they did not deal with that, or picking that up from their family. It's all conditioning, or the people around them. Knowing that it is safe to be in their body. While in their career, they free themselves and others from outmoded beliefs, replacing negative thought patterns, really finding great attraction to this. A lot of emotional movement, even falling in love, and maybe there is a romantic piece in there somewhere, but certainly the external support is there for them. If not literally, they may not see it yet. Sometimes we don't see what we have until we don't know what's going on and we start reassessing, right? But regardless, that they get that the light is always within them. The guidance, the grace, the divinity that the personality is looking for, that the ego may avoid, the soul already knows. And who are we really? The soul or the personality? Well, the soul has had other personalities in different lifetimes, so you tell me. Comment below. So the light is always within them. That really they can approach that crown chakra of their calling and their vocation that probably came to them when they were younger. That just gives them courage and strength and fortitude and great heart. The love is divine power, the sacred truth of the heart chakra. While they reminisce, while they look back at the innocence of how they started with all of this stuff, maybe just in the workforce, because some of us started in performing arts and ended up on YouTube doing readings, right? Looking back at what initiated our service path, our calling, what inspiration did it? Could it be innocence, purity, redemption, and a special connection to the divine as they invoke self-realization, each breath confirming how awake we already are, that we may heal, that we may grow, that we may serve, that we may incarnate heaven into earth through every breath, every movement, even when we don't know what's going to happen next, because life is indeed that mystery. But if that child archetype, every child archetype, it's about safety and innocence. If they feel safe, they're up for everything, and if they don't, they're not up for anything, that they may really embody that. They may embody that, and in that innocence, not just heal them, not just heal what's going on here on the table, but heal all of us, because when I heal, I am not healed alone, and that is true for all of us. So may they be blessed with all that they need in their work, career, vocation, that they may roar, that they may shine, that they may fill this light that they are anchoring within them, for it is always within them, and this world needs as many external reminders and examples of that as possible. For the well-being of all with harm to none, as I will it, so let it be done. So may it be. It's a hot read. Definitely. You want to book a reading with me? Easy as pie. Find me on Facebook, Mark Angelo Lyons, Holbrook, New York. You can find me on Instagram, just Mark Angelo Lyons. Or you can find me at ProfWitch, PROFWITCH, on Twitter. Send me a slide into my DMs, Leo. We'll book it. We could do a Facebook video call. We could do a Zoomy thingy. And eventually, once I get the shot in my arm up in Saratoga, they're going to do it right in the center of the pentacle if I'll tell them to. Then, you know, I will be traveling this year and next, driving around. I'm going to do a driving tour. I'm going to go down to Florida. I'm going to go to St. Paul, Minnesota, most likely. Probably going to head out to California, but I want to drive. I've never done Route 66, although the Depeche Mode version of that song is everything. So I hope you enjoyed the reading. If you liked it, like it. Want more, subscribe, comment, share, all that jazz. Otherwise, wishing you the very best and the very blessed in your work, career, and vocation. June and July 2021, my lovely Leos. Farewell, and blessed, blessed be.